Hey all, Dan here again. I got another Ask Me Anything question that popped in, and it was about Type-C connectors. People were asking about, well, you don't like the Type-C connector. We kind of get that. It's cool in some ways, but let me be honest, it is kind of overkill for what it is. They asked, well, what do you think about the Lightning connector? What do you think about that? It's smaller, it's got fewer contacts. That's true, things like that. However, there's a significant design fail to the Lightning connector that I believe. And I'll have a few little images that'll probably pop up, over one of my shoulders, or maybe both at the same time, showing kind of a cutaway of what each of these are. And I believe that there's a fatal flaw in the way that the Lightning was designed versus a USB-C or a standard USB, even a Type B kind of a thing. And that's the way a connector works. So a connector basically brings two things together, right? Makes a junction. But you can't just have two things loggerheading against each other, like, hard to hard, because as they would move or as they vibrate, they make intermittent contacts. That's not good. You want to have something that's got a little bit of motion that can happen and doesn't require upon that. So usually what you have is you have a socket and a pin. They call it male, female kind of things, but a socket and pin, and it'll come in and engage. Well, the pins are usually pressured down, so when you come on in, they spread up and they kind of make contact, and this thing can vibrate, move up and down or whatever like that. But because they're spring-loaded, one of them is always going to be engaged and touched, so that your pin is always captured onto it. That's kind of how they work. So there's a flexible pin, a flexible socket side, and a pin that comes in and engages, and they make electrical contact and hold no matter what happens. So that's what happens. In a USB-C or a USB, B, or most of your other things like that, the pin side is on the computer or on your cell phone. The socket side, the flexible parts, are actually in the connector here. So in this case, there's a flat board on your cell phone that as you plug your Type-C into, it goes in and engages. Why is that important? Things that move break. Let's just be honest. Cars break, door hinges break, people, we move, we break, things like that. Things that move break. Those are the ones that get distressed. They get constantly moved back and forth. Those break. Same thing with a connector. I have a pin, I have a socket. The socket's the one that's always moving and flexing and things like that. It could get trapped and get dirty. It could get blocked from being able to move. It could get bent and snapped over. The pin's a lot more durable. If I'm designing up a cell phone and I'm going to plug this in my cell phone all the time, which one do I want to break? My cell phone or my little tiny adapter, my cheap cable kind of thing? Personally, I'd rather toss away the cable and get a new one of these. So USB-C is actually designed that way, such that the flexible moving parts are in the connector here, the outside part that goes into the cell phone. Now, Lightning is different. Lightning basically says, oh, we have all the flat parts out here, the fixed part, the pin is actually on this connector because it looks nice and is exposed, things like that. That means all the squishy parts that move are on your cell phone. So if there is a fail mechanically, and there will be a fail because I've never not known a connector not to fail, that's just kind of endemic to connectors. When it fails, it's now your cell phone that has to be fixed. And that's a lot more difficult. You either have to spray and clean it out and things like that, or hope that it's not busted, or maybe replace the switch, or God forbid the switch bends over and crosses and shorts things out and maybe damages something further upstream. So that's a problem thing. So that's why I think the Lightning, it's beautiful, it's cool looking, but it's got a fatal flaw in the way it was designed. The pins are on the connector that it's external, and that's wrong. The socket is on the pins that are internal to the device, and that is wrong. They should have reversed it. It wouldn't look as elegant. It wouldn't look as cool. It wouldn't be so iconic, like, wow, look at these little things I see there. But you know what? It'd be a much more robust connection. So that's why I believe both of them have problems. Type-C, it's not because of, it's small and flexible. It's because it's really big for what it has to do. That's kind of an issue, and it's expensive as a result. Lightning, because it was designed wrong. Plus, it's proprietary only to Apple. So if you are like 85% of the rest of the world not have an Apple phone, this becomes unusable. This, on the other hand, pretty much is everywhere. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. So I hope that answers your question. That one I got from multiple people actually coming in, pinging us directly about it on email. So there you go. Again, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at Periodic Audio on Twitter, or send us a request at info@periodicaudio.com, and we'll get right back to you. So with all that, have a great day. See you all later. Bye.